they asked me if I could do education programs with them. What we were doing was we were educating the public on what archaeology and what artifacts are like. And so I started to get into it, and each project that I started to work on and excavate and survey, I started to get curious about how did they make these arrowheads or these projectile points. I started off by reading books of archaic weaponry, but I didn't understand it until I started to have more of a hands-on experience, and I started to like it. And I read more books, and one person that I really think is Tommy Heflin. Tommy Heflin is a well-known flint knapper out in Portales, New Mexico. And one day, he gave me a crash course on what I was doing wrong. Just that crash course that I took in one day and one night really helped me out. And I started progressing as I started to do more demonstrations. They asked me to make some arrows for them. It was a big arrow project that I needed to make 25 arrows for OES, and I was willing to do it because I started getting more curious, and curiosity was getting into me. We're to the point where I always wanted to learn how to make them, and I started doing the research. And this part is the fun part where I get to do the part of replicating native artifacts. This is a good experience for me as a native. As I finished school, I was not taught some of these skills by my elders or other people because most of my life I spent in boarding school. In high school, I didn't have enough time to have fun because it was only two of us in our lives that I usually went to school, and I went to work right after practice. Then it was, therefore, I had no fun all the time. It was just work, work, work. And when I got into this, I started to get curious because this wasn't taught in our schools. It wasn't part of our curriculum in school. The only way we could learn it was if our elders or adults would teach it or pass it on to one another.